back to a brand new Pokemon Pocket video. So we have a new pack revealed. It is going to be the mini set, and it comes out Tuesday on December 12th, which is going to be next Tuesday. Because I'm recording on the 12th right now. Mythical Island, and I mean, just look at the art. The art's awesome. So if you do like content like this and like getting the latest news, make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe button. Really appreciate it. Let's jump into it. So first up, we got Snivy. It's a 70 HP basic grass Pokemon with Vine Whip that does 40 damage for a grass and a colorless energy. The most exciting thing about this card is we know we're going to get a Superior, which is really cool. Let's keep moving on. That's all we know about this line. Morlul is a 60 HP basic grass Pokemon with the attack Ram for 1 grass energy. It does 20 damage. Grass is getting a lot of new mons. We'll have to see what the final evolutions do. It's going to be really cool and exciting. Next up, we have Mew EX, a very exciting card. I think this card's going to have another immersive. It's going to be awesome. I just like the art right now. So Mew EX is a basic Psychic type with 130 HP with 2 attacks. The first one is Psyshock for 20 damage. And it costs 1 psychic energy. The next is Genome Hacking for 3 colorless. Choose one of your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks and use it as this attack. So I think this card will actually be good. It probably will be in like a one of as a Mewtwo in a Mewtwo EX deck. It's just going to be really good. And the Genome Hacking, also to be noted, is 3 colorless energy, so it could technically be splashed into anything. I do wish it had free retreat cost, but that might be a little OP, so I'll take what I can get. This card's really cool. Next up, we have Supporter Blue. During your opponent's next turn, all of your Pokemon take 10 less damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. That fixes a ton of math in a lot of matchups. So, for example, like Mewtwo. So Melmetal gets one shot by Mewtwo. Well, if they don't have Giovanni, it's not going to be able to one-shot the Melmetal anymore. It's going to live with 10 HP. So that's really big. That's really cool. So love to see it. Next up, we have Vaporeon, and I think that this is probably the most impactful card from the set, and it will be for a long time. It's a Stage 1, 100 HP, 120 HP water Pokemon. As often as you like during your turn, you may move a water energy from one of your benched water Pokemon to your active water Pokemon. So, and it has the attack Wave Splash for 60 damage for a water and 2 colorless. Now, why that is so big is because, I mean, let's say you hit a Misty, you get 9 energy. They're like, you see those crazy high types, or even 3, like on an Articuno, and then you have, and then you move that Articuno to the bench. Okay, well, now I have another Articuno that's not ready to attack. You have the Vaporeon, you're able to transfer those energies. Also, you have you could power up your Blastoise. I mean, you could do a ton of things with this card. And whatever water Pokemon that come out in the future, this card is just going to benefit. Has potential to benefit. So I think it's going to be a staple card for a long time. So keep your eyes out for that. Next up, we have Dedenne. Dedenne is a basic electric type with 60 HP with the attack Thundershock for 10 damage. Flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. So I think this will replace Pincurchin. It's one less attack. It's one less lightning energy, which is huge in a Pikachu EX list, where you try to wipe the opponent out as quick as possible. Now this is going to be a great pivot where you might not be able to win the game that turn, but you might need to stall for a turn to set up more energy. And I mean, here you go. And Pincurchin, I mean, it's really good against the legendary birds because you're able to potentially paralyze them and do super effective damage and line up for a Pikachu KO, which they can still be done with Dedenne for only 10 less HP and a whole less energy, which is huge. So next up, we got Execute for 5th. It's a basic grass Pokemon with 50 HP with the attack Growth Spurt. So for a colorless energy, take a grass energy from your energy zone and attach it to this Pokemon. Now, why this is cool is it's a colorless energy, right? So the Executor might have a grass colorless type attack. Let's just say, for example, you don't even need to play this in a grass deck. It could be in a fire deck, because as long as it uses Growth Spurt and it gets that it gets that grass energy on there, you're still solid. So that's really cool. I like it. I mean, it has 50 HP, so it could get knocked out early. So take that into account too. But really cool to see. Next up, we got Delmise. Sorry, Delmise is a basic grass Pokemon for 100. It has 100 HP and has Energy Whip. So it does 20 damage. Plus, if this Pokemon has at least 3 grass energy attached to it, this attack does 70 more damage. So pretty much just a grass version of Lapras. Cool to see. If you have could go well with Lilligant, for example, or if we get other grass acceleration, then we'll see what happens with that. Next up, honestly, my favorite card out of the set, not because it's like super good or anything, but because I just genuinely enjoy the card and just even this art, and I think it will get maybe an immersive, maybe an alt art, which is really cool. So it's Aerodactyl EX. Aerodactyl EX is a stage 1 fighting type Pokemon with 140 HP with the ability Pivotal Law. Your opponent can't play any Pokemon from their hand to evolve their active Pokemon. And also has Land Crush for 80 damage for a fireless for a fighting and a colorless energy. Now I don't necessarily know how good Pivotal Law Primal Law is going to be, but I do know that it needs to be tested and figured out. I mean, 80 damage isn't huge, but it is only 2 energy. So and 140 HP is pretty bulky, honestly. So, I mean, great to see. We'll see. It does have a weakness to electric, so keep that noted too. So, yeah, great to see. I mean, for example, you're not going to be able to get the Starmie turn 2 with just attached to Staryu, and then you evolve Starmie, and then you attach a water there. You're going to be a little more creative now if you're going up against this, and this could be just like a 1-1 of in just some decks just to slow down your opponent. So, cool to see. Next up, we have Marshadow. So Marshadow is going to be a basic 80 HP fighting type Pokemon with the attack Revenge for a fighting and a colorless. Does 40 damage. Plus, if any of your Pokemon were knocked out by damage from an attack during your opponent's last turn, this attack does 60 more damage. So it's going to do 100 damage total if a Pokemon was knocked out last turn. Now, by damage. Now, this is just a direct counter to Pikachu, so if they attach an energy on turn 2, you attach an energy on turn 3, they attach an energy and knock out a Pokemon, then you have the Marshadow ready to knock that out, and then the energy is tied up, and you have an active Marshadow, which, has 80 HP and energy, so that's great to see. Next up, we have Larvesta, which is a basic Pokemon has 80 HP and the combustion attack for 30 damage for a fireless and colorless energy. Now it does have 2 retreat costs too, so keep that noted. So again, the coolest thing about this is the evolution that's going to be coming. I can't wait to see it. I think it probably will have an EX. But yeah, we'll just have to wait to see. So let's go ahead and move on. So next up we have Magmar, which is a basic fire Pokemon with 80 HP. Now this Magmar is different than the one we have right now. It has Fire Blast. For 80 damage and 2 fire cost, discard 2 fire energy from this Pokemon. Now, this could work in Blaine. I actually do think it's probably better than the Magmar we have now. I mean, the art isn't. Like, I like the art better on the one we have now, but this one could be better in Blaine. I still don't think it's going to be great. Just the 2 retreat cost it's just bad on Magmar, in my opinion. And when you have Ninetales is just infinitely better because when you Blaine, you can one-shot Pikachu EX. Magmar's not going to be able to. So take that into consideration. Let's move on. Next up, we have the Pikachu. So it got half cut out because they only presented half of it, but the attack was noted. So it's for 1 lightning energy. It's a basic lightning Pokemon with 60 HP, and for 1 lightning energy, you can use the attack that does 10 damage for each electric Pokemon on your bench. So it could do 30 damage for 1 attack, which is technically better than the Pikachu, the baby Pikachu that we have now. So keep that in mind. Tauros is up next, which is a basic colorless type Pokemon with 100 HP and the attack Fighting Tackle. For 3 colorless energy, it does 40 plus. If your opponent's active Pokemon is an EX Pokemon, this does 80 more damage. Now, I don't necessarily like this card. I mean, 3 energy is a lot of energy unless we get some kind of acceleration. And then if they don't even have an EX, you're only hitting for 40 damage for 3 energy. That's not good. So let's just go ahead and move on. Next up, we have Leaf. During this turn, the retreat cost of your active Pokemon is 2 less. Now, this is a good card, don't get me wrong, But man, I wish they just gave a switch in the way of a supporter. I wish it just said switch your active Pokemon to the bench and you choose the next active Pokemon that comes up. Like it would make Snorlax so much better. It would just make bulky Pokemon a lot better. There's four retreat type. There's 4 retreat cost Pokemon running around right now, and I think that would just be really cool. So here's just like a screenshot of what the pack's gonna look like. Beautiful, beautiful. And the Volcarona in the back, which again I think is gonna get an EX, but we will have to see. And then it looks like that's a secret mission of some sort. And yeah, and we get some more solo expert battles, which is great. It means more hourglasses, more packs unlocked. So I mean, and it reveals that we do get Pidgeot EX. Now we don't know what it will do. There's been some talk about it. I think a really cool suggestion or prediction, I guess, would be that it has an ability. Once during your turn, you get to pull a random card from your deck, or just draw an extra card from your deck, which would be really cool. You can see that in a lot of decks. So anyway, like I want to really appreciate y'all for watching it this far. If you're this far in the video, make sure you're subscribed and you hit that like button. I really appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good one. Peace.